Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? It's a very cold, not very cold, it's been colder here. It's Easter Sunday at the time of recording this, but I'm recording because lately I've been feeling inspired. I feel like it's been a while since I've been in front of a camera, and I've sort of begun to miss it. But apart from my personal interests and endeavors, I have been thinking lately about how I wanted to use my voice, especially during times like these where I feel like there are many different ideas, different ways that people want you to think, and a lot of information out there that just gets into people's heads, um, that I feel like we forget what the average person looks like. Now, I say this, I think I'm a very average person. And I feel like we don't really get that many perspectives, or at least I don't see that many perspectives out there from people my age that I would honestly want. I think I think what I want to talk about today is the importance of finding your voice, especially in times where having your own personal opinion at a lot of times is very looked down upon. And I think people need to remember that your perspective is equally as important as anyone you see on TVs, anyone you see online. It's important to share your perspective as well. And I've had this thought for quite some time, but I've never executed upon it, and I've never thought about or attempted to share my own voice. But I think what makes a great thinker is not only the thoughts that you think, but the communication of those thoughts and how you can bring those thoughts and principles and perspectives and apply them in day-to-day life. It's a little windy. You'll have to excuse me. Life's hard. And I'm saying that as a 20-year-old. And I'm sure older people watching this, or younger people watching this, would agree. And that's okay. The way we perceive the world around us is equally as important. I think a lot of people forget that they're allowed to acknowledge when things are wrong or when things feel wrong. We let a lot of people go, a lot of people in positions of power do whatever the heck they want, and a lot of people start excusing them by trying to read between the lines and saying maybe they're doing this because of this. But you have to understand, by nature, we can sense when things are wrong. When something is happening in this world and it feels wrong, it probably is wrong because by nature, we're given the ability to sense when things are dangerous, or sense when we are in trouble, or sense when things make you upset. And I believe that we've evolved to become more adept to things that even make us emotionally upset. Maybe at the beginning of how humankind was, it was just about danger and perception of the lion about to eat me. But I think as society's evolved, emotionally and intelligently, we've evolved to understand and sense when people are being emotionally or intellectually or politically dangerous. People need to listen to that. Not only listen to that, but communicate those thoughts. My second point I want to make about finding your voice and using it to communicate, as we were meant to do as humans, is within relationships. I think the biggest pitfall that a lot of young people, but specifically men, fall victim to is lack of communication. Short answer, as a man, I'm a boy, so I can speak for boys here. But as a boy, when you feel something is wrong, say something. Stop trying to stuff it in. It is not going to help you, and it doesn't make you look more like a man. Because at our young age, we're not equipped to determine whether or not these emotions are too little or too much for us. We're not equipped to understand which emotions to hide and which emotions to show. And doing that at a young age often ends up being more harmful than what you think. When a 16-year-old boy, a little 16-year-old boy, hides his emotions and continues to let people do things that make him upset and doesn't communicate that, there will be a point where they break. No one is going to look at that 16-year-old boy and think that is a mature 16-year-old boy. I don't know if you've seen people crash out, but at times it can get very, very, very scary. And what I've noticed is, oftentimes, these 16-year-old boys are not just 16-year-old boys. They are 25-year-old boys. They are 30-year-old boys. When men never learn to articulate their thoughts, or men are never given the chance to articulate their thoughts because either other men or their partners are telling them it's soft and they need to man up, they often regress and become violent. And that's not how things should go, and that's not what makes you a man. Yes, violence is necessary, but only when it's used to protect people and to be there for people, not to harm them, not to lash out in anger and be all scary because your ego is hurt. When you are upset with your partner, it isn't soft to tell them, this made me upset, even if you don't know why. That's the thing. You don't need to know why it made you upset. But that's the part that requires the most communication. When you come across confusing ideas, they only require more exploration. And when you're in a relationship, a partnership, a team effort, you're not going to know, or you're not going to be able to explore these emotions or explore how another person made you feel unless you talk to that person, unless you talk to the person you're in a partnership with. If you don't feel like you can come to that conclusion, maybe now's not the right time to be in a relationship. And that's a whole nother video I want to get into But the main purpose of this video is to talk about how important communication is in all aspects of life. As a human, we are meant to communicate. And it doesn't matter if it's by phone, if it's by text, if it's by talking one-to-one, if it's by video, if it's by art, if it's by music. Communicate. Communicate how you feel. Express how you feel. Because your perspective is unique. And your perspective is as equally important as everyone else's perspective. No matter how mundane you might think you are, other people are looking for validation. Other people are looking for other people who think the same way that they do. Don't bottle it up. Express yourself. Be who you want to be. Communicate your feelings. Let people know when you're sad. Let people know when you're happy. That's a huge thing. A lot of people want to know that what they're doing for you is benefiting you. Let them know. Be grateful. Thank them. Say, hey, I really liked when you said this, and that. Because it provides that feedback. It communicates that what they're doing is good and that you want them to do that more. I hope that doing these videos as often as I plan to do them will help me be a bit more articulate. And I'm sorry if this video is very hard to track. This is my first. So I think it's very on topic to be talking about communication whilst being a pretty bad communicator. But I told myself I would do it, and I couldn't. It's such a beautiful day out today, so I wanted to make sure that I did it. Not only for you guys, but for me. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that I made some sense, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see you next time.